Dread's the name. Stanley Parable. The Ultra Deluxe is the game. Hi.
All of his co-workers
We're gonna do this other option.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. At first,
I want to see the other option.
He'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Yay.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game.
But I don't want to.
Just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley.
Oh.
Who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly.
Hey, that's pretty good.
What Stanley liked best was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton.
Hey, yo.
Did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible.
Oh.
And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Quite unbearable.
You too will become quite unbearable.
Quite unbearable. That was a good song. Is that in the soundtrack? Like, this is actually really cool. I love this. I'm a music nerd. I was in band growing up, so this to me is just awesome. Dude, you can play a hell of a guitar. Dun 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 dun. If it's on repeat like this until I restart, I'm gonna make a song. Oh. Okay. Everything's okay when you doubt what you think is right. It is fine. The world will shine even when you're sad. The world will pick you up and make you glad. I don't know. I love, sorry, I'm just taking it in because I love music. Bro. You. Excuse me? Where'd the music go? Music, no! Please, give me the music. It's unbearable without the music. It's like in a lot of horror games where it's like, please stop the music, and the music stops. It's like, please bring the music back. Because at least when the music's there, it's not quite as scary because it's already on edge. Alright. I'll begin the game again. Okay, Stanley Parable, if that is your real...
would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
What? Oh. Huh? Is there more inputs on other? It's gotta be in here if it is. Oh. I have to turn off this one in here then. Yeah, you don't want your computer to be on all day. I mean, come on now. That's not very nice, is it? To have your computer sitting there on and all that.
He knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I want to go see my family. Because you say I have one, supposedly.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Actually, I want to do this first.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Thank you. I am very powerful.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. It's a different computer this time. Oh. Okay, can I just keep dying then? Hold on, I want to try something. If I can just keep dying so I can get there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Bah!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I am very powerful. I gotta hear that probably 2 more times and now I'm gonna get whatever this thing is.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Hmm? I walk too fast. I clicked it, but there's no other computer to click to put it in. I feel like I'm missing it, and I don't want to miss it. It's a weird place to have a pencil sharpener. In the corner of the feckin' room. I've looked around for about 2 minutes and I can't find the monitor, so I'm just gonna move forward.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I want to get
I'm not your enemy,
to my family now.
I realize that investing
I'll
in
do
your
that one
trust in
later.
someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you
forgot about.
Please,
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Can I kill myself instead?
Aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Apartment 427.
Is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What's really going on here? Do I have to? I don't want to follow the bad people. Mommy told me not to follow them.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning. Press on your controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I have to press the button they're telling me to. I've been pressing other buttons and it's not working.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
A lot of people do.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. Each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
I don't have time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
This is kind of sad to think about, because this is how most people live a 9 to 5. I don't know if you know that, but a lot of 9 to 5s, this is kind of what they're like. You literally go home, you barely get to hang out with your wife and kids if you even have them, if you have time for them to even get one, beforehand or after or whatever the case may be. It's really hard on a lot of people, and I understand that. And that's why I can't really work a 9 to 5. I've tried, and I've even tried doing night shift, and like night shift would be best for me. It's just that job in particular was asking a little too much of me, and a lot of things went down that I'm not going to talk about, but basically I'm not going to have to worry about working that job right now. Excuse me. But I'm very excited, very happy to be here making videos and streaming on a PlayStation 5 that I can buy and own and say that I own it and it's mine. But yes, the 9 to 5 is a death-defining thing that a lot of people do every day. And they don't realize it, but you're wasting your life away doing nothing but wake up, eat, possibly, or if you're like me, you just wake up, go to work, eat lunch, come back home, play video games, go to sleep, wake up, go to work. Like, that was just how it was. And for a lot of people, they'll eat 3 meals a day, so even then it would be wake up, eat, go to work, eat, come home, eat, then go to bed, not even play video games or anything like that, because they can't. And I'm just trying to explain here that it is a big thing that happens in our society and in our lives that we don't even take to consideration, that it really is just a ticking time clock, ticking our life away as we work every day.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
It is actually kind
It
of...
was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I love you.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I won't. I don't want to press it. I'll press any other button. With both these crouch, the whole left side of the trigger is crouch. I literally can't do anything else but do that. What? Bruh, how long you want me to wait here for? Like, you told me not to press it, I'm not gonna press it, but then, you know, like, if you don't give me any more instruction on what to do, as a video game, I have to go forward, which the only way forward is by pressing the button. And I don't want to do that because I want to listen to you. But just so you know, before you get upset at me, I have literally been listening to you this time right now, this whole time. I decided that, you know what, it's okay, whatever, right? I didn't press the button. Please, just, if I press the button, don't get upset at me.
You see? Can he just not hear me?
What?
How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button.
Please die.
And I tried.
The end is never, the end is never, the end is never. Oh. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What's going on here? What's going
Stanley
on
went
here?
around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Huh. Whiteboard ending. Welcome to the whiteboard ending. Dog made. Okay. Dog mode. What does it do? Oh. Oh God. Okay. Instead of clicking, we got dogs now. What else do you want me to do for this? Like, this is not an ending. Or well, it used to be, I guess, but not anymore. It's not an ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I could have done to make that different?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
This is pretty cool, man. It's a broom.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
Nah.
To still be here.
I mean, yes, there's duct tape, dude. Look how... That's valuable right here. Look at that copper wire. Subnautica could use that. And duct tape.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
A piece of duct tape right there.
Doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Doing sweet fuck all. I can tell you right now.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely...
Cool, dude. It's got so many tools. Look at that.
You
It's
do
got
realize
wrenches.
there's no
And...
choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Well, I'm about to make it part of the story. I'll make it part of the story. Broom closet percent, bruh. Broom closet. Blah, blah, blah.
You, this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." Your friends find this concerning.
They wouldn't. They would be like, "Yo, that's crazy, bruh." For real. My friends are
Stanley
cool like
was fat
that.
and ugly and really, really stupid.
Hey.
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Really? That's cool. Oh, an addiction.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second play. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look,
here, I'll
you
hand
can
it to
hammer out the
something.
details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
I'm a dog narrator, you hear me? Woof woof. Nothing? Alright then.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nah.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Nope.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
True.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
It's the same room on repeat.
No,
Yeah.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief. Isn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield. And it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
Could he
One he
wake
was
up?
amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did
Was
the
it
voice
now?
not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too, surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife.
You don't have a wife?
My job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Open your eyes, please. I can't see. Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh no.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then
You know what,
she
that's my
remembered
whole
the
point in
meeting
life,
she
trying to
had
make other
scheduled
people
for
feel
that
good.
day. The very
Make them happy.
important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I don't know what that did, but it did something. Wasn't there one computer it wasn't on in here? Huh? Oh, we have stupid.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wee.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office hoping he might... Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
I'm not a dog anymore, though.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. It's a nice bathroom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I didn't know. I think I might have broke the game, but I fixed it by taking this path, or maybe that is a path that you can take, and I'm taking it right now. I don't know. I know this is a path of something.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Come on, we gotta be getting somewhere, right?
2845.
Or would I break the game? Alright, bruh. Okay. Let me go back in here.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I don't want to. Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. A real dork in there. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey. Hey! Input received. Excuse me. Hold on. I don't feel good about this. I definitely broke the game, I think. Wait, there's a lot of things that would consider not breaking the game, but I think this is definitely breaking the game. I was supposed to be in that room, and I wasn't, so... Begin the game again. We'll see. I had to probably go that far last time for that computer.
Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Turn people's computers off to save power, man. Oh. Okay, it just needs one more input and then I'll get that. Should I just restart right now and then try to find it? Playing solitaire? Yeah. Playing feckin' solitaire. Hold on. I'm gonna begin the game again. Run!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, I think I already got it, unless it's gonna be at the computer. That's over here. This is not right. Huh? Hello? What is this? That is not...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't like listening to you, but...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Come on, man. You gotta
Coming
be
to
kidding
a
me.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm too scared. Okay, let's try this. No, they don't have it. Okay. I want to do this. Hold on. Come on. Come get me. I want to go up this time. We went down before. That's the fucking narrator. At first it scared me because I was like, what is that? But it's just him. Oh, what? I hate the fact that this is just a thing in the game. Whether it's an ending or not, or like a trophy, it's funny. I have patience. I can wait, man. But, I mean, the song is like a 3-minute song, no? Hearing the fucking narrator do it? It's funny though. Oh, this is a good song, man. Classic. Alright, well, that was cool.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
I'm sorry.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Hide in the corner. Alright, I have to go down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
The end is never the end is never. The end is loading. I just want to leave. Screw that.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Alrighty then.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I don't know, but...
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator.
Woohoo!
I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time?
You never know.
The suspense is killing me.
It could be something different every time. Let me see. I'm so excited. What is it? What is it? What is it? Yo!
It's the boss's office.
Oh my god!
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
What? But I want to play.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
What? Bruh. Bruh. This is a banger song, though.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Well, it's this room. It's quite invigorating. It's not the correct word.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Listen, man, you're going to keep giving me line for going up and down the elevator. I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, he's done now. He's done. Well, we'll make sure.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator.
Yeah.
The suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Yes! Oh, yeah. Anticipation!
Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But
I don't.
Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much.
Yes, you get me.
Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
Whoa!
Over here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
An evening with world peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Stanley Parable, Stanley, tonight live on stage. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable, Stanley. From the Stanley Parable, tonight live on stage. Storytelling. Stanley reveals all in his new book. I didn't even know I had a book. A Q&A with world's first sentient machine.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
An audience with the dude who came up with pizza. Live, the guy who went to Mars, the Lord plus meet and greet. Featured keynote speaker. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great. Yeah. Hey, look at all my fans. Yay. Hey guys. Hey. Oh, thank you. Oh, it sure is a lot more people than I thought there'd be. Oh my God, I'm going to go to a heart attack, cardiac arrest. Yes. Huh. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Cool. What do you do? Oh, I see how it's heaven. You just get to press a bunch of buttons. I don't care. I got patience to press all these buttons. I mean, it is quite literally. Oh, they light back up. I mean, it feels like heaven because I'm pressing all the buttons. Okay, heaven is cool, but I don't want to be in heaven no more.
Just a step.
I mean, heaven was pretty cool. But
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Oh,
new content.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Huh?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful.
It does.
I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah! I didn't finish every little path on that,
I have to
but
say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
content! Jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Yes! Yes! I can jump. Content, yay! Huh.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Let's see what's behind door number 2. Oh, another elevator.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new
Games
content,
these
then
days?
I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new
That's
content.
it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
What? You gonna say something? Because that's what the office used to look like. It don't look like that no more.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Yo!
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley,
22 things when Stanley Parable was released.
Of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port. Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched?
Yeah,
Back
I
then,
do.
video games had integrity.
They
Back
did.
then, it all meant something.
It really did. I'm gonna cry thinking about it. 2014 Independent Game Festival, dude. British County Film and Television. Stanley Parable. It didn't win that, but good times. Yeah, we haven't seen half of those, I don't think. But that's okay. We'll get to that. Yeah, the original remake. First ever dollar they made. A trip down memory lane. I smile because it happened. Sure it did. The Stanley Parable Alpha Test. Bits of music from the Stanley Parable. It is sad that we're playing like the newest version of it. And it just feels like that they were doing that. Don't play for 5 years. That was an achievement. Or a trophy or whatever. Unachievable. It's possible to get this achievement. Well, it's there, so you are able to get it. British County Award, the Stanley Parable Game Innovation. Oh, that's cool. March 12th. It's the same thing, isn't it? Story, debut game innovation. New video game releasing today. Corresponding down to earth. 50% off designer hats though, but a small creature owns the other half. Okay. Hey, we just saw that ending today. Just sit here. No. Just look.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
It was very
literally
cool.
Every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's
Nope.
just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Well, I mean, I like stuff like this where you go down memory lane. This is nice. Tasteful nostalgic. It was good. Nostalgic. Mm-hmm. The OG. I don't know if that line one's still available or not, but if it is, that room looks like Keep Talking Nobody Explodes room. Mm-hmm. Portal. Wasn't that one of the games they used to take you to on the old one? Hold on. Mm-hmm. Person of the Year, Stanley. So cool to see the map. Original remake. Yep. I remember when people were getting these, collecting them. It was definitely something to uphold. Top 10 memories from the Stanley Parable 2013. I remember. Well, I can say that. I remember a lot of things. Your number is 29. The end is never.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation, boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
How do you expect me to...
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
You're very funny.
Funny? I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
It's cool, though, to see all this. This is the Stanley Parable.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
I don't think you are.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
You didn't let them down,
the Stanley
man.
Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I don't want to go read that one because it seems like that's the last place to go for here. But we might have more over there. I have no clue. What I do know is it is true how there's a lot of games that they'll just remake and make it for cash money, you know, money, cash grabs, whatever. And it really sucks. It really does. The worst thing about it too is sometimes they won't even bother to add new content, or if they add new content, it would be super like stupid and super short, and it wouldn't last enough to even be considered as new content. And I've played a lot of games like that, and also goes with like bad reviews. You can't let bad reviews overcome the positive. There's always a positive to every negative. There's always a positive. That's how I've learned in life. It's what my dad's always taught me. For every negative thing, there's always a positive thing. Okay? And without that, technically without that negative or that positive thing colliding, there wouldn't be issues in the world or whatever. But the positive, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, will outweigh the negative. That's just how it works. I don't know how else to say it. Let's read this.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customers.
Not the end.
Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices are what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time.
I don't want to skip.
Once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations.
I love his voice.
Of course, you need a description of it, but
I
if
love
I
this
had to
dude's
describe
voice.
it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise.
I know.
Maybe a manifesto.
Possibly.
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone?
It does.
That is rich with ambition and history.
Manifesto. Oh yeah.
See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation. I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other. In which case, the word I am not sick of shall be the victor.
Do it.
It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
Do it. I do it too.
Here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Treatise.
Okay, bye.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
I don't know if
I
they
should
can
become
either.
better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works.
I don't know.
Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes,
100%.
I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their
Listen,
review so that
I'm
the
gonna let it
feature is not
happen.
widely abused.
I love this dude's voice.
I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Okay, so you're gonna make me press the skip button. Okay.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at
Well, you
any
stop
rate,
talking,
I do
though.
suggest that we not press the button again.
I don't want to
think
either.
The skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we
It
can
has
say
been.
goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
I don't
Where
know.
did the door go?
Uh-oh.
Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before.
There
How
was.
else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there?
There was a door here.
Where did it go?
Uh-oh.
Maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to die? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise.
Thank you.
You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
But how long will it take? But wait, I don't want to wait that long. But I have ADHD, man. I can't just sit around doing nothing. I'm gonna run a couple laps, and if he's not back, I'm pressing that button. Also, again, like I was saying before, bad reviews shouldn't be looked at in that kind of way where it's literally just, you know, you look at it in a negative light because it's a negative review, so you just let that negativity flow through you and flow all around you and everything. And it's like, don't do that. Don't let negativity control you, bro. Like, yes, there's gonna be people that are negative about some things like this game, or like my YouTube channel. There's probably gonna be people who are definitely negative about how I act on my YouTube channel and what I do and what I say and all this and that. And you just gotta look past it. You can look directly at it and take into consideration that it's there, and you know it's there, and you know that those people don't like it. But don't try to make them happy. Don't try to please somebody, you know? That's not something you want to do. It's just, it's not. I'm pressing the skip button.
Stanley! Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
I know.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again.
For the door.
I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why
You gotta
was it so
try your best.
important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even
You're trying to
met Cookie
please
Nine.
everybody.
I have no
I'll make everybody
idea
happy,
who they
and I
are.
understand.
What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose
I don't know.
benefit is this?
I have no
Here
clue.
I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone.
Man,
But
I don't
have
wanna
the
press
power
it.
to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you.
Dude, I
Just
don't want to
your
press it.
decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely
I don't want to make you suffer, dude. I love you, dude. You're fucking
Surely
awesome.
you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll
I'll do
put
some
your
more laps.
own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, no, no. I know you too well. You'll be leaving me at... Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me?
He went on
Stanley,
repeat.
you're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with.
I'm sorry.
And you think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction.
You're not.
I feel as though I occupy
Yeah.
space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it. To think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
I'll give him like 15 seconds, and if he doesn't say anything, then I'm going to press the button. But what he said is very true. People don't even need someone to like respond to them. Just to know that someone's listening and someone's there listening to them is enough. Okay, he's not coming back.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley.
Really?
Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind.
Which was?
It is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you.
Oh.
Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Probably been away for a while. I don't think he's coming back. Oh God! Stop! Shut! Stop!
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people.
I know a lot of people will see this as annoying that I'm not pressing the skip button, but I love his voice, and he's saying a lot of good and funny stuff.
Deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression, and so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves.
Yeah, sure.
Point for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who
you keep sounding like me now.
Using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes.
Yeah, of course they are. That's how I see it.
Jealous of me this whole time.
True, you got your own game and everything.
And cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves that they couldn't help but leave a negative review on pressurized tasks. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Repeat. All right,
Where are the jokes? Where are the jokes?
He not here?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end,
is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the.
Alright, that one's supposed to go on repeat for a while. I mean, all the ceiling panels look correct. I mean, the plant's been there for a minute, but... Oh. See? Always check your ceiling panels. I told you they look correct, and now they don't. Look at that. It broken. Is that outside? I mean, technically, if we keep pressing this button, we'll technically get out of this. There's light! Look! There's light! Yeah! Pop! Greenery! Copper wire. The button's ready. There's nothing really going on here. No, it's nighttime and it's scary. Give me the button. Huh. Look at this. Okay, I thought I heard the button come back, but no, I didn't. Sure, we'll walk. The end is never, the end is never.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. Something different, hopefully. I know I'm streaming over the amount of time I said I would be streaming for, but this is to make up for me being like an hour late. An hour and a half, so. Hold on. There you go. Bah. Okay, what kind of content you got for me,
see,
man?
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Hey!
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Really? You say?
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising.
More TSP, better TSP. Win-win. The color red, leverage. Okay. It's so cool how they technically I mean, they went out of their way to make logos like that one and that one. And thanks for attending my meeting. Yeah, so they were like showing all the different ways of doing it. The first one's nice, and I like that third one. That second one looks like a Red Dead kind of. That one looks like LA Noire or like other like fancy games or whatever. Stanley Parable 2. That one's okay. I like that one also. They're all nice, but we got 2 plants in the new one. Oh, 2 of them? No way.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New features. New content. Okay, stop the new content. All aboard. Okay. Exit hall, Expo Hall 2.
Here
Okay.
we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
This one. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. I doubt it. It's just gonna be
For
like
the Stanley Parable 2,
stare.
I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
No.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full
Okay.
experience of this.
Hold on.
Play along. I promise you'll love it.
Oh,
Okay,
do
here we
do
go.
do
Let's take a
do
deep
do
breath,
do.
clear your
Whoa,
mind,
man! There's a
forget
button
who you
here.
are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself.
I
Whoa,
am Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the
Oh,
backstory.
oh, sorry,
if you don't
sorry.
properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
I will.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Mm-hmm.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I am Jim.
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
I don't know, man. To be real, it's not all that cool of a button, but
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
Jim.
I'm putting the Jim
Jim.
button away.
Jim.
Otherwise,
No.
soon you'll
Jim.
start to lose all
Jim.
sense of who
Jim.
you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim. Jim. Jim.
fine. I was Jim, man. You told me to be Jim. I can't be Jim.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Reassurance bucket. Bucket. We'll get to that in a second. Settings world champion. Bruh. Free new plus easy trophy. Can't believe it's that simple. Get yours. Pull lever so your trophy. No more steps. It just works. Get yours right now.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
So wait. Can I have it?
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Bruh! Please no screenshots, that's funny. Would that be the shirts and stuff? To be honest, it could work in their favor. I'm gonna be real with you. What's this? I want the bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable
Bucket.
was that it was confusing and paradoxical.
What?
That it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Yes!
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring
the
cognitive
bucket.
dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Well, thank you.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Yes. I'll keep the bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
We'll go on here.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I mean... Do I really gotta pick? Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Bruh. I wonder if I would have picked the other option if it would have done something.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
I'm not. I want the other one.
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
I didn't choose balloons, you chose them for me. I chose Get Well Soon. Collectibles. That's new, that's new. Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them? Ooh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
This reminds me of that video game from... Can you find them all? Can you find them all? Can you find them all?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
I mean, I would love if they did that with me. So is there like more of them just hanging around or what? Like the bucket room? Does it have one? Do I have to worry about collecting these? I mean, I'm gonna have to at some point if I want to platinum it, but I mean, playing this game and getting like 2 achievements, collecting all of them actually is an achievement, I assume. Huh? So you're telling me that it just keeps going? Okay, but you're telling me after 1,000, that's 1,000. Bruh, the whole... You would get stuck like right there. You won't keep going. What is this? Educational use only. Infinite hole chart. Okay. What does that say? How deep can we dig? Opening. Rim. Surrounding area. Depth. Infinite. Infinite
Stanley,
hole.
here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nah. It's not infinite.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated.
Can you teleport me back up?
Some things we didn't mean.
Yeah, I'm
Why
sorry.
don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
I agree.
For you,
it works
go
great.
ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole, and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Or is there anything for me staying down the hole? There's a bunch of cigarettes here. Collect the water while I'm down here.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my... Oh, for heaven... You see? I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole. I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. Overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length.
I don't either.
Let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the teleport button...
It's not because we're right at the surface. Yeah, I'm pressing it.
I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
What?
I couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
But I don't want to be in the hole forever. I want to get... Okay. Is that just the game playing music, or is something actually happening? Oh. Well, now surely the teleport button would work. I'm deep enough to be considered underground compared to the surface. You would think, right? Dude. This is something. This is really something. Change your perspective. Okay. I mean, he's Stanley. Ugh.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head.
Ah, hey, G-Ma, what good, bro?
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley?
Oh,
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole?
can you just get
From
me
the
out
looks
of the hole?
things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Can... I don't want to do all this again. Okay. I was going to be like, bruh, I ain't doing all that again. That was a lot of work. Yes!
Go on, try out some of the new features.
A new bucket? I like my bucket though. The bucket stays with me. I'm mostly infinite hole, jump circle. Okay. A whole new office. Ooh. Red is the new orange, indeed. The new update, ray trace, more of the same, but in a good way, sequel to the new feature. Here it is. The instant quality was just the right amount changed. The baby is all grown up. Yo. Bankruptcy? No. It's not good. Don't let the baby get bankrupt. This is the infinite hold. That's new. Yeah, a door, sure, it's new. Can I go down here and see about those little Stanley dudes and see if there's one down here? Can I try to get this achievement? What did I miss? I got the bucket, office decorations, epilogue, collectibles, infinite hole. This map. Jump circle. Yeah, okay, so I've done everything. Time for the Exorino. Exit.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
I mean, yeah, I saw everything. So.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Yay! Huh. Bruh. Us.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
It's worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted
It's gonna be hard to do
love
that.
it. No matter how good these gags are, they wouldn't stand
It's
on their
always
own.
like that,
They would
where you
need
try
the
to
structure
improve
of
and
the
make things
gameplay
better
of
when
the
it was
original.
perfect the way it was, kind of
Wait.
thing.
Maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Yeah.
Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, this is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
What? Yo! That's so cool. Dude. That's cool.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was
Where's my bucket? I want my bucket. Oh. No. I want to play a game. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yes, I did.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What would this really change, you think? Let's go this way, because there's still...
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Yes,
And
we're
here
going
it
on the
was.
bucket.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
It's a nice room. Bucket, you like the room? I mean, it's got a lot of good stuff here.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
I know, it's so great. Meet the bucket. Let's go. Forever pals and on the adventure.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
I mean, to be fair, you're putting a bucket in an office. I don't think it's going to make it feel all that at home.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Yep. I like how things changed up, though. Okay.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
This is one of the things I missed, but
good,
now
Stanley.
we got new
I'm
features.
glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Hey!
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Really?
It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket
Not bad.
isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're
Yeah, I
the
know.
ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
Everyone wants
Yes,
a
I
bucket.
know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
I haven't
We
seen
could
the
make
Adventure Line story.
Go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
A new adventure line? I haven't done the old one.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
It. Hey, it's a line.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley
No.
is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That wasn't.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
But I don't want to give it up.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why
No.
I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
I don't want to put my
I
bucket
think
in
it'll make
there.
a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
I'm not
Can
putting
you
my
guess
bucket
what
in
the
there.
Bucket Destroyer does?
I don't want to
Surely
put my
you don't want
bucket
me
in
to spell it
there.
out for you.
No, it's my bucket.
Go ahead now, Stanley.
No.
Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. I want the bucket. It's my bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly
I'm
now.
not.
The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give
I'm
the
not
fans
doing
what
it.
they want. Hurry and...
It's my bucket. I'm going out of my own bucket. You ain't gonna tell me I ain't gonna have my bucket. It's my bucket. Goodbye, Bucket Destroyer. You weren't even around for that line.
My prized creation. You had so much
For
potential.
real?
We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now.
Yeah, listen, but we got Bucket still. The bucket can still be that thing that we can make stories about and stuff.
You were magnificent.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you understand what's going on right now? Because I understand what's going on right now. Where's my bucket?
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Hold on. I don't know what it is. That is a weird invention that got made. I don't understand it at all. I swear that this is the door, no? They give us the adventure line, because in there, I swear it's the adventure line, no? Alright. Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's...
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The bucket won't help me, though. The bucket is just so much more exciting than anything else here, man. I'm not going to destroy the bucket. The bucket is friend. Love for life. I love bucket. I do want to hear different voice lines, though, even though if they're slightly
Still
different.
no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's... Oh, Stanley. Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
No.
I can really feel
No.
it. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know
won't.
how hard it must be, given the pressure
No.
that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to
I
be
will
strong.
never.
This is your bucket. This is your
Yes.
companion and lifelong friend.
Yes. Known as bucket forever. No, never.
Name calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
What?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Oh, yeah.
Expand on the wide
Oh,
variety
yeah.
of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journey.
We
into
went
as
on the
detailing
new
rich
adventure line. We
emotional
went to the
landscape
bucket
of your
destroyer.
feelings for the
We went through the
bucket
right
as they
door
have
first.
changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Like, you are the worst broom closet I've ever met in my life. Let me just tell you. Okay, me and this bucket have been through trial and error. I met this bucket.
I got you
Okay.
something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take
Property
our
of Stanley.
with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
They're still talking crap, though, narrator. What do I do?
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a
Give me all the
bucket.
stickers. Can we sticker bomb the
If
bucket?
you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not,
True.
you can look down at this sticker
You'll
and say
never
to
know.
yourself, "Ah, it's a bucket."
It is a
There
bucket,
really
and
is
it's a property of
variety
me.
applications for this sticker.
Do you have another sticker? I like stickers. Can we sticker bomb the bucket?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Yes! Me and my bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
We sure did. Me and the bucket agree on that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket knew all along?
The
Was
bucket
the
knew.
bucket guiding him?
The bucket knew.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I feel like eventually you would get an achievement, though, no? I'm loving this playthrough with the bucket. This is the best playthrough of a video game ever.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Which me or the bucket have never seen.
All Stanley
No one
could
here
do
has.
to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Okay, good. We're not going to go back up because
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Okay. That is an escape.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Yep. Whee!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to
Hey,
be.
don't talk shit about the
Sure,
bucket.
It puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
No, I didn't.
Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to
Oh.
death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
It was. You're standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. The human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void, but through use of exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and sustained. Knowledge of the bucket is history and is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn out here with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about information? Will you change the lives of yourself or loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Look at all those buckets. So many. 25 buckets. That is not 25. Bruh. 25 buckets. The greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. Well, I can tell it's more than 25 buckets, bro. Like, this little circle right here is 25 buckets. Like, I don't think you know what you're talking about, but whatever. Oh. Bucket with 2 handles. Oh. Oh. Too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. I mean, I've held a bucket with 2 handles before, and I gotta tell you, it pinches the shit out of you, so. Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which in medieval era was so powerfully altering that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. No one can control a bucket. That's very true. Okay. The stress bucket, an analogy. Okay. Something about commentary. If you want to read that, you can pause.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distant inevitability is for our own good. I'm coming for your bucket. Why? Oh. You can float.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
No!
Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
I miss my bucket.
All of his co-work, the confusion and the chaos, all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Can I go in here?
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. Objects have appeared across the office. We have synergized our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There is no memo from management. How can you tell you spot one that makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? True. One in the bathroom. Follow clues provided by employee 461. We can do it. Red room. Red room? Thank you, good luck. I mean, no problem. There will be an award for finding them all. Lies. Haha, stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. Well, it looks like 427. Haha. 5 or B, just take it from me. Collect them all. A large room, lots of boxes. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Somewhere both red and blue. A private but smelly place for an important person. Well, that one's the bathroom. We know that one. Red and blue. Are you talking about... There's two places I think. Are you talking about the two red doors? Or are you talking about the red door and the blue door? Or are you talking about... stairs? Something to do with stairs. I'm guessing that one's down. So we'll go up first. We go get...
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Okay. I wanted more stickers, but you know, that's okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Both red and blue.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-Stans? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Yes, but I don't want to go through this ending. I do want to go upstairs. I didn't know I could do that. So now I can get more than just this one. I can get 2.
I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stan?
Figlies?
What
Oh,
name
God.
better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I don't remember the thing. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisps. Extreme bathrooms. Bath boy testifies there of the thrill of the century. Tired of getting ash on your I can't read that. it's just not possible. All right, let me in the bucket get our gaming on. Hold on. Red and blue, we got that. Wait, was that the red and blue or was that the stairs? I'm confused now. We would have to look whenever we get a chance. Hello. Let me in the bucket ride you. Thank you. Go down. It's not gonna matter. I want to see if anything different happens. Okay, nothing different happened. Elevator doesn't move. I think it's literally just a vibration simulator for that thing, or emulator. 2845, 2845.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
That was the only place I could think that was red and blue, but stairs? The only place I can think of that is that one ending where you kill yourself by suicide. And that might be the ending they're talking about, that area. But even then, it's like, I don't know how to get that ending even.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
We did, indeed. Okay. Lights,
The monitors
camera.
jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it
It's okay,
that
bucket.
everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the
I don't
bucket
know.
been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds
No!
of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These
Oh.
questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Feeble.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He
Fired?
squeezed the bucket tighter.
Who got
His one
fired?
friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Yes, not and the narrator. I mean, and the narrator, but
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two
All right.
best friends, Stanley and the bucket,
mind
up against
controls
the world.
idle, awaiting
They
input.
high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Well, I'm still playing the game apparently.
Yes, they had done it.
Yes!
Stanley and the bucket
Me
had
and my
defeated their
bucket.
greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait, what was happening? Why had the door stopped?
Oh
Was
no!
Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
What?
Unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally
true.
in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Ma. I hate that man.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Alright, we need to go through
Stanley
here.
touched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I need to go through here to get to the meeting room to see what things I'm missing. Somewhere both red and blue. So the staircase one was the one I just did. A large room, lots of boxes. Wouldn't that be on the right? Are these both on the right? Somewhere both red and blue. Large room, lots of boxes. Okay. We're gonna find all the little Stanley figurines, hopefully.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone. Not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the
Both
employee
red
lounge
and blue.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out
blue,
to be correct?
but
Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I don't want to go there.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
The heck is it? Boxes! Hey,
You're
man.
getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Excuse me. So a place that is red and blue. This.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels
What does that
real
say?
anymore.
Evidence.
The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
We're making this bucket such a big deal and I love it.
Euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Okay, man.
No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Oh no. Oh
It's
no.
unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
No! You monster! How could you sell out the bucket?
But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back.
There's a target right now, and it's from me.
Now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
You don't ever monetize a bucket. What does that mean? Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. What would I do without you? What?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Alright, goodbye then.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley touched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The only way I'd be able to do that
This was
is if
not
I
the
do
correct way
this,
to the meeting
right?
room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
I love his voice.
Yes, good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
No, I didn't.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, okay. Is this our red and blue room?
And you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Well, this is a bucket. Okay. Yes.
Question one. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket?
Bruh.
Incorrect.
What?
This is a bucket.
That... You're lying. You're trying to be funny.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Huh?
Item Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket?
I know, this didn't really help.
These questions with confidence.
I know, but now
I'm somewhat adrift.
I know.
Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Are we all buckets?
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm going to erase all buckets
No.
from the game
No.
entirely.
No. 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 No.
Here we go.
No. 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 No.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was
Everything-
everything a bucket?
Everything's a
Every
bucket.
single thing in the game was a bucket. My God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
But
And you,
Stanley was.
You're still here. You're
Oh.
not a bucket either.
Damn.
This is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
Yes, but
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's
But
still
I
helpful
don't.
to get some clarity on that issue, but it
But
doesn't
now-
change the fact that we haven't got a game.
yeah, exactly.
So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you
Yes.
run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Trying to make decisions that will get me new
Stanley
stuff.
decided to go to the meeting room to check
Oh,
on his
all the
co-workers.
boxes.
He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was... Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together, would Stanley press the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I'm trying to think. Hold on. I'm trying to think here. I don't want him to talk and then like run into the problem or a scenario or whatever. I'm thinking like, which way is it to get to the red and blue doors or a red and blue room? I don't remember a red and blue room. Do you? They can't be talking about the stairs because the stairs I already got. So I know it's not the stairs. What else could it be then? Because I don't remember running into a red and blue room. I really have no clue. Is there is it a thing where it's like I can't have the bucket for a whole run or something to do it? Like I don't know. We'll figure out.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I don't...
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not
You
to think
say
about this
that.
obvious He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I don't know whether or not I should go home with the bucket or if I should pull the plug with the bucket. I think pulling the plug might be the solution here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the...
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to
True.
Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Oh no, comedy. Wait, that's not the same
What
thing.
is comedic timing?
Oh, this is different.
What is comedic timing?
Timing.
How does it work? How
It's
long
funny.
should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. Okay.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy.
Really?
Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged storm of bullets and mandibles, all of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
May Earth reign supreme. What?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
I don't wanna. Alright. Hey, now put a fence here.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we have the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly.
The
No need to
bucket
overthink
spoke.
things.
You want me to go all the way back through all of this? We're back in the break room. Okay, how you feel? All right, we're gonna hear him do his gut winching thing again and make it funny. Supposedly, let's hear it. What's he got? What you got, boy?
Here we go. You ready?
Sure.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
You didn't do anything different.
What? We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp.
Dude, you got a lot of good voice acting, though.
I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
It's not gonna help you, bro.
Surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Bro, you're not making it any more funny.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
How is that funny?
No. You're supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
I try to go through the right door and it...
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... It's as though all of your other most prized possessions...
Oh, God.
...pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashed...
Please stop. This sucks. This is... Oh.
Still not... Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame. Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so mental, I think I saw it playing guitar. Stay away from making fun of his obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
God, dude. Oh God, that's funny. that's a funny ending. It's a very similar ending to the first ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket. A bucket. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Horata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the secret amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold...
Oh, God.
Its fangs glistening like... My God,
No!
Stanley, you did it! You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
I didn't want to kill the bucket, man. I didn't even know you could kill the fucking bucket. Now that I know, it sucks.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time. Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door.
I gotta look up how you get to the red and blue room. I can't find it. I don't know how to get there. We're gonna figure it out. The Stanley Parable. No, I don't want that one. I want Ultra Deluxe. Come on. I mean, the trophy guide is nice, but first, can we look up red and blue room? This room is secret. Unlike others, to get to it, go through the right door, then continue straight to the warehouse. Instead of riding a cargo lift to the phone room, jump off the catwalk. When you reach the red and blue door, go through the blue door. Okay, so I gotta do a playthrough without the bucket, I think.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Because I think I did that earlier.
Telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And
because like I thought I did it right.
Turned out to be correct. Was no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes, good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the
top. Because I believe it says
There's
that
something
you
up
can't
there
have
I need you to do.
Bucket.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yeah, it won't let me go, huh, with the bucket. Cargo. Operator's manual.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
Okay. I gotta do a run without the bucket. I'm sorry, bucket, but I gotta do a run without you.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days?
I'm sorry.
Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
It was okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
If he's working on his comedic timing, that's funny.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your... And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Sure, we'll walk through the red doors.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay. I wasn't allowed to have the bucket here.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Bruh.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel... No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no.
Suicide.
Stay away
Suicide.
from those stairs. If you hurt
Suicide.
yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Yeah,
Please,
man.
no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't
I wanted
take
to do this a
from
long
me.
time.
Please, Stanley, think... No! Oh, thank God. No. No, no, what are you doing, Stanley?
I don't want to be in this
Please,
life
I'm
no more,
asking you
bro.
not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Sorry.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you... My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
I don't
You'll
dislike
throw
your game.
yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
No.
You're literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask.
Fuck, you're giving me my feels,
You
dude.
wanted to make a choice after all.
Dude.
Well, this one is yours.
Make me feel like a dick, man. I really love your game. And I love you as a human. You are fucking awesome. I love your voice. I love you as a person in general, as a human being. You are awesome. And everybody deserves to be loved all the same.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yep. I just wanted an achievement. No! All of my content is gone! Oh.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
It did.
Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Okay. When Stanley found the collectibles. Dude. I knew something bigger was going to come out of this. Come on, bruh. Really? Okay. It's going down.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Is it showing me all the collectible locations? Because I got them all.
And here was the second Stanley. You found this one all on your own just by poking around behind the boss's office. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
But I had to get you mad at me to do it.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
It was under the stairs because, yeah, it was under the stairs.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Oh, really? Well, I can tell you, I did.
What came next? Oh, yes, we found a figly in this pink room.
No, we didn't.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
It never happened, but whatever, man. I'm starting to think, well, the boxes one, this one did happen.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
How you found, oh my god, 2010 shit. By the net. What's that back there? Oh my god. It's mini stand 5. Yo. Mini stand 5 out here. Yeah, we did it. We found mini stand 5. You found it near the cargo lift. Yes. Thanks for watching. Yeah, no problem. Credits everybody narrator, music by narrator, person by narrator, best boy, the narrator starring Stanley. C, the narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
I was just about to tell myself that I was okay with this being...
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently
than all the others.
Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
It doesn't matter which door, they both go to the same place. Okay, now what? You're in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
No! But wait, you...
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines?
Yeah,
Let's
open
just
the door.
Go backwards.
Yes.
We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction.
Yes.
See how that feels.
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's see how this feels.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more.
Oh, I know what you want.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, I love that video.
I'm glad you do. You put a lot of time and effort into making it, like people did back then, thinking that it was a lot of time and effort.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Yeah, I like this room. Nice room. Good room.
These
Great
really were a
moon.
treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Okay, but we keep collecting them though. No? Yeah? No?
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Collect them all. Oh yeah, this whole area. The jumping circle, does it have more jumps?
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more memories.
Alright, we'll go even further back. I guess we're going to go all the way back to the beginning, where the office is. Yeah.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Yes. Doesn't matter which door I take, but I'm going to take the right one anyway. And then, of course.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Yep.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel... Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
Oh,
yes, perhaps that's
probably.
it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much.
Wait, what?
Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Wait, are we actually gonna... No. The end is never, though. The end is never. You can't. Don't
I
hurt
can't
me
wait
like
to
that.
tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Oh!
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
There was people.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll do everything right.
Yet there
Reboot
was
the
not
game
a single
entirely.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay. I mean, it seems like he really does just want to run through it one more time. He's like, blah, blah, we already know by now, blah, 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 blah. Wait, what?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terror. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes, he had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
I saw
As
somebody
sunlight
walking
streamed
earlier,
into the
though.
chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
The way I played the game and then doing this feels like an actual
ending.
ending. Like, this feels like the true ending.
The only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
He did. I followed every order you wanted me to, man.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game trophy. Complete the Stanley Parable. That is the actual true ending of the game because you follow directions. I now want to know trophies. Obtain all our trophies. Test trophy, please ignore. Chest trophy description, replace this. Okay. Quit the game and then start it again. That's a trophy. Commitment, play Stanley for entire duration of the entire duration of a Tuesday. Okay. What is this? I don't know. Complete Stanley Parable under 4 minutes 22 seconds, not including load times. Okay. Set all the setting sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. Super go outside. Don't play Stanley Parable for 10 years. Huh? Oh, hold on. Click on door. I already got that one. Speed run. I'll do that one in a second. And then these two, or there's three really. I mean, there's two that I don't know how to get. And then there's one where it's like commitment. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. How do you do that? 1.4% of players unlocked it or earned it. I wonder if I just like leave the game running and then just like go do something on a Tuesday and then come back if it'll work. I don't know. I want the don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years is crazy. Which this game hasn't even been out for that long. It's been out for 2 years and people have the achievement for 10 years. So clearly they're messing with their date and time settings. Set all the setting slider in the menu to all available numbers. Okay. Okay. Apply. Whoa.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure.
Type dot reticle size. Okay, is this one of the sliders that it wants me to mess with? Okay, apply all that. Show translation labels, show color labels. Oh god. Show content warnings. Reduce motion. Low dexterity mode. Toggle auto walk. Okay.
Of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Can I... That is one of the trophies, no? Settings World Champion. Set all the settings sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. To all the available numbers? What does that entail? Hold on, we're figuring this out. I want to platinum this game. You hear me? I'm gonna platinum this because I'm at 4 out of 12 already. Alright. Trophy guide. Give me the trophy guide. Thank you, thank you. Stage 1, finish the game obeying the narrator. Advise you play a game a few times before reading this guide. It's full of spoilers and could ruin your experience. Most trophies. I'm probably going to play a game a few times for even paying attention to the trophies. Unless you're playing it strictly to get trophies, that is. In any case, the first ending you should go for is Freedom Ending, where you must obey the narrator at all times. This step should take 6 minutes or so. No complications. Check Beat the Game for more information on this. Okay. Speedrun. This can be just a little bit tricky if you don't know what you're doing. Check the trophy and tips for visual aid. Content collectibles. Test trophy, please ignore. This involves finishing the new content main story routes, finding a few collectibles, and accessing the game's epilogue. This requires a long preparation that can take anything from 1 to 2 hours of gameplay. In any case, you can simply play the game as much as you want. If you're into exploring every aspect of the game, chances are you'll do the majority of these requirements naturally. If not, you can find a detailed guide inside the trophy that covers everything that needs to be done in order to unlock it. This would be the longest stage of actual gameplay. Stage 4, cleanup. Most miscellaneous trophies are easy, but some of them have ambiguous descriptions with no indicators on what to do. All of them are related to different tasks across the office building or tampering with the menus. This is the easiest part of the platinum. There is one trophy related to opening the game after 10 years of real time since the last time you played it. You can do this legitimately if you wish, but there's a workaround for that trophy. Check Super Go Outside for more info. Okay. Do you have... Oh, all sliders? Okay. Epilogue. Okay. You have a new option. Oh, you can go back to the game's menu where you should have a new option called Epilogue. A last new chapter that needs to be completed. Okay, this shorter chapter that continued events. Skip. Okay. Okay. Quit to the menu. Hold on. We're gonna do epilogue. If I can. I don't know if I can. Wait. Go to the menu. Hold on. Settings. Subtitle size. Theoretical size, capacity, active speed. Settings, begin the game. I mean, I already played the game. Okay, no, I can't do that setting. Hold on. I also realized I don't think I applied those settings.
All of his
what is it?
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Remember last time there was someone there. Okay, hold on. We're gonna speed run.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm trying. Hold on. Quit to the menu, and then there's a cheat. Hold on. There's a trophy for doing this. So hold on. Gonna do this.